You're out there right now, maybe mile 6 of a long run, maybe day 3 of feeling strong, maybe coming off that race that went well, or one that didn't make sense. You felt ready, you did the work, but somewhere out there, something shifted, and you're still trying to figure out what happened. But here's what I know. Physical fitness gets you to the start line, but mental readiness, that's what determines how far you really go. Have you ever felt strong but not ready? Have you ever quit without fully understanding why? This episode is about preparing for miles that you haven't reached yet, and the cost of staying comfortable long before you ever toe the line. Cue that intro music.
Who says you need to fly to reach the top? Keep beating your block till your feet are hot. Get your head out the sand, join the flock. It's okay to run scared, we enjoy the lie.
Welcome back to the Ostrich Running Podcast. If you're out there moving right now, thanks for bringing me along. And if you're listening after a run, recovering, stretching, trying to make sense of the day, well, this one's for you too. I just want to start off by saying I'm so grateful for having each and every one of you listening in week after week. So excited at the growth of the show, at the growth of the brand, and all of this is not possible without any of you. So I just wanted to say thank you so much for being a part of this journey. A lot of you are out there chasing miles that seem unreachable to you, chasing goals that seem unattainable. But I'm here to tell you that you have it in you. And today's episode's going to talk about something that most of us don't really talk about enough. And that's mental failure. Now, it doesn't really show up suddenly. It's more of a cumulative effect. It's built over weeks and months of small compromises that we barely even notice. Most runners, they train for distance. They train for pace. They build their aerobic base, hit their intervals, dial in nutrition, and all of that matters. But here's what we miss. We don't train for decision making. We don't train for the moments when our mind starts offering us exits. Mile 80 of a 100-miler doesn't ask if you're fit. It asks, who have you practiced being? Because mental collapse is rarely this dramatic moment where you fall apart. It's actually quiet. It's a soft agreement with comfort. It's the voice that says, you've done enough. This is reasonable. No one would blame you. And if that voice is familiar, if you've been listening to it in training for months, then mile 80 isn't where you break. It's just where the pattern completes. Every time you cut a run short because it's uncomfortable, you rehearse quitting. Every time you skip the hill because it's cold, you rehearse choosing ease. Every time you negotiate with yourself mid-workout and settle for less than you planned, you're building a habit. You're strengthening a voice. But here's the thing. It works the other way too. Every time you finish what you planned, even imperfectly, you rehearse finishing. Every time you start when you don't want to and keep going when it's messy, you're building something else. You're making the champion voice familiar. Remember, we talked about last week the 3 voices: the quitter, the negotiator, the champion. They're not just frameworks, they're real. They show up in training every single day. And whichever one you listen to most often, that's the one that'll be the loudest when it matters. So the question isn't whether you're fit. The question is, who have you been practicing to be? Because mile 80 is just an echo of Tuesday morning at 5 a.m. when you didn't feel like it, but went anyway. Or when you did feel like it, but talked yourself out of it because it was raining. The miles that break you don't break you in the moment. They break you because you never practice being the person who doesn't break. Before we jump into the rest of this episode, I'd like to take a moment for our sponsor, us, Ostrich Running. Look, I've tried every electrolyte product out there, the super sugary ones, the ones with the gimmick salt, the tablets that take forever to dissolve. On a lot of these, they mess my stomach up. But Ostrich Salt, it's different. Simple. Just pure electrolytes, sodium, potassium, and magnesium malate in the ratio your body actually needs when you're sweating through mile 30, 50, or 80. I created this because I needed it. When I was out at Kodiak 100 running through the night, cramping was not an option. When you're managing 100 miles, you can't afford to bonk because your electrolytes are off. So I made something that works. No artificial flavors, no BS, just quality ingredients. And here's the thing, whether you're running ultras or you're just trying to get through a hot 10K without cramping, your body needs electrolytes. That's not negotiable. Now head to ostrichrunning.com and grab some electrolytes today. Use code SALTY6 to try your own 6-pack for $6 because you can't run scared if you're sitting on the side of the trail with cramps. All right, welcome back. Let's talk about comfort. Not the kind that feels good after a long run. I'm talking about the kind that creeps into your training, into your decisions, into the way you move through your life. The kind that feels reasonable, but quietly erodes everything you're trying to build. Because comfort, it compounds. Just like fitness, just like consistency, except when it compounds in the wrong direction. We live in a world designed to remove friction. Climate control means you never have to be too hot or too cold. Convenience means you never have to wait. Distraction means you never have to sit with discomfort for more than a few seconds before your phone offers you a way out. And most of the time, that's fine. That's modern life. But here's what happens. Running becomes one of the few places where discomfort still exists, where you can't just skip ahead. You can't play at 2x speed, where you have to sit in the heat, the cold, the fatigue, the doubt, where your body and your mind have to negotiate in real time with no shortcuts. And if you're not careful, if you're not intentional, you start avoiding even that. You skip the run because it's too windy. You cut it short because you're not really feeling it. Avoid the hills. You stay inside when it's raining. You train by feel, which sounds intuitive, but it's just another way of saying that you avoid anything that doesn't feel good. And none of that is dramatic. None of it feels like failure. It just feels reasonable. Comfort isn't bad. Let me be clear about that. Rest, it's very important. Recovery, essential. Listening to your body matters. But unchallenged comfort, that erodes resilience. That teaches you to reach for the exit the moment things get hard. The edge isn't found by suffering more. It's found by avoiding comfort less. Think about the last time you skipped a run because of the weather. Was it actually dangerous? Or was it just uncomfortable? Think about the last time you cut a workout short. Was your body actually done? Or were you just negotiating? And here's the hard part. It's not just running. It's everywhere. It's the hard conversation you avoid with your partner, the project you procrastinate on because it's uncomfortable to start, the dream you don't chase because the first steps feel too uncertain. Comfort becomes a pattern, and patterns, they become identity. Most people don't fail because things got too hard. They fail because they never practiced being uncomfortable long enough to trust themselves. They get to mile 80 or mile 20 or mile 5 and discomfort shows up. And that feels foreign. It feels like a signal that something is wrong because they've spent months, years avoiding it everywhere else. But discomfort, it's not the enemy. Discomfort is just information. It's just feedback. And if you practice sitting with it, if you've built familiarity with it, then it doesn't scare you. It doesn't break you. You just keep moving. So ask yourself, where in your training are you choosing comfort over growth? Where are you negotiating early? Where is ease disguising fear? Because the cost of comfort, it's not immediate. It's not something you feel today. It's something you feel at mile 80 when your mind offers you an exit and you take it. Because it's the most familiar thing you know. Now, again, I want you to be very honest and clear in understanding that uncomfortableness is not always bad. Now, I recently had a long run scheduled, and it was supposed to be about 4.5 hours. But I had a lot of things going on for that day. So I knew I was going to need to do this long run on the treadmill. But I knew I was going to need to do it early enough before the day actually took place, because there would be no way for me to have time to make this long run. Now, I needed to start this long run at 3 a.m. in order for me to finish and have all of it wrapped up by the time the day actually started. So 3 a.m. in the trails. Honestly, I was not in the mood to get attacked by a mountain lion. So I decided that I was going to run it on the treadmill in my garage. Now, you may think that that's way harder or it's way easier. Either way, I was not looking forward to spending 4.5 hours on a treadmill, but I knew it needed to be done. And to me, in my eyes, it kind of felt like an easier way out. Like I wasn't actually out there running scared in the darkness and in the elements, but I had to think about my safety. And that was the purpose of this treadmill, not to find comfort, but to be able to find a faster pace, a more sustained incline. It was just a tool in my arsenal. But when I did do that, I woke up at 1:30 in the morning, and I started running on that treadmill. But I didn't just run with everything around me being carried on the treadmill. I didn't have a water bottle in the cup holder. I didn't have my shirt off and just cruise for that 4.5 hours. No, I went exactly how I was going to go in that trail, and I had full gear, everything that I was going to wear race day, because it is still a dress rehearsal. You still design these long runs to be a practice run of race day. So there I was on the treadmill running in full gear, and it just needed to be done, and it just felt right. I also was constantly raising and lowering and adjusting the incline, decline, and everything to match my elevation that I would have done or experienced on that trail run. So I made sure that what I did was make it even more tough than it would have been being out there in those trails. And that's just the decision that I made to get myself out of being comfortable in that situation of being on the treadmill. It was very important for me to have that mental win. And I believe that all of us should be doing something like this to challenge ourselves in that mental battle. And I can tell you what, that run sucked so bad. I mean, I felt like I was stuck there looking at nothing, just wanting it to be over for hours. And it was terrible. But as I started to get towards the end, I could see the end near, and I started getting hyped, and I was able to push past that area where I said, or I could have easily said, I'm good, this is enough, right? Or I could have ran with no gear on and just said, well, I'm going to be on this treadmill, and that's hard enough already to not be moving anywhere else and just looking at one wall. I just wanted to add that challenge because I know that mile 80, the quitter, the negotiator will rear its head and try to take control of my goals. And I don't want that to be the outcome for what I put all of this work into. So here's the truth that nobody wants to really hear. Confidence, it's not something that you're going to find on race day. It's something that you earn long before you ever toe the line. You don't rise to the occasion. You default to your training. Not just your physical training, your mental training. The decisions that you made, the discomfort you sat with, the moments you finished when it would have been easier to stop. All of that becomes your foundation. And on race day, when things get hard, you don't reach for something new. You reach for what's familiar. So the question is, what are you making familiar? Every run is a mental rep. Every decision is practice. Starting when you don't want to, that's a rep. Finishing when it's messy and slow and nothing like you planned, that's a rep. Letting a run be uncomfortable without trying to fix it, without distracting yourself, without cutting it short, that's a rep. And over time, those reps, they build something. They build trust, not in your body, but in yourself, in your ability to keep going when it's hard, in your ability to sit with discomfort and not panic. Mental readiness is about familiarity. That's it. Much like when we were in the military, we trained, we did everything. Repetitive nature. You run drills 10 times, 20 times, all month, all week, all year, so that when that part of you is freaking out and not ready to make a rational decision, you already know what to do in your sleep. You are actually familiar with all of the actions that need to take place. So in running, you don't fear mile 90 if you've met that version of yourself before. You don't panic at mile 20 if you've practiced being uncomfortable enough times that it doesn't feel foreign. The champion voice isn't loud. It's not booming. It's not this motivational thing. It's quiet. It's familiar. It's the voice that says, I've been here before. I know what to do. Just keep moving. But you only hear that voice if you've built it, if you've practiced it, if you've made it stronger than the other ones. So let's talk about how you do that. First, stop negotiating in your training. If you plan to run 8 miles, run 8 miles. Not 7.5 because you're tired, not 6 because it's hot, 8. Finish what you start, even if it's ugly, even if it's slow, even if no one's watching. Because every time you negotiate it, even if you had that 3.5 hour long run and you finished it because you completed that loop in 3 hours, well, you know what you do? You turn around and you run 15 more minutes back up that same path that you just finished, and then you run the 15 back. Finish what you start. Because every time you negotiate, you're teaching yourself that the plan is optional, that discomfort is a reason to quit. Not? Well, that becomes your default. And secondly, seek discomfort intentionally. Run in the weather. Run the hills. Run when you don't feel like it. Not because you're trying to be tough, not because you're punishing yourself, but because you're building familiarity with discomfort. You're teaching your mind that it's survivable, that it's not an emergency, that you can sit in it and keep moving. And third, pay attention to the voices. Notice when the quitter shows up. Notice when the negotiator starts offering you deals. Don't judge them. Don't fight them. Just notice. And then choose the champion voice, even if it's quiet, even if it's hard, because that's the practice. That's the training. You're not training for the miles you've already run. You're training for the miles you haven't even met yet. The ones that will ask you who you are, the ones that will test whether you've done this work. And here's the thing, those miles might not even be in a race. They might be in your life. They might be in a moment when everything feels uncertain and you have to decide whether to keep going or quit. When that plan that you had for the big work project and it was all going to go as according to this paper said, and say you didn't reach the numbers that you were intending to hit, the sales, the metrics, and everybody's wondering, hey, I thought you said this plan would work. No. You need to default to that discomfort that you faced. Acknowledge it. Be familiar with it. Because you train so well, you train honestly, you train for the person that you want to be when it matters. Now think about it right now. Where in your life are you avoiding discomfort? Where are you negotiating early? Where is comfort disguising fear? You don't have to fix it all today, but you do have to notice. You do have to start. Because confidence, it's not found. It's really earned. One uncomfortable mile at a time. And we're going to take a next break for our sponsor, Ostrich Run. We spend so much time tracking pace, distance, heart rate, and all these external metrics, but we don't track the thing that actually matters most, how we're moving. Aletheia is a sensor that clips to your waistband and tracks the force your body experiences when you run. Not just your running 8-minute miles, but how your body is actually absorbing impact. Whether you're braking too much, whether one leg is doing more work than the other. They call it a force portrait. And when I first saw mine, it was like, damn, this is what's actually happening when I run. This is where I'm inefficient. This is where I'm setting myself up for injury. And here's why this matters. Most running injuries don't just happen. They build over time because of the imbalances and inefficiencies we can't see. You're overstriding. You're landing too hard on one side. Your form is breaking down in ways you don't notice until something hurts. Aletheia catches that before it becomes a problem. You get personalized feedback after every run. It tells you exactly what to work on, not generic advice, but your specific issues based on your unique biomechanics. I'm not saying this lightly. If you're serious about running long term, this is the tool you need, because staying healthy is how you keep showing up. Head to aletheia.run and use promo code RUNSCARED10 today. So we need to talk about what the edge actually looks like. Because I think a lot of us expect it to be dramatic. We expect the breakthrough to feel heroic. We expect the moment we level up to come with fireworks, clarity, some big obvious shift. But again, that's not how it works. The edge is quiet, subtle. It's earned in moments that no one sees. Real growth doesn't feel like a movie montage. It feels rather ordinary. It feels repetitive. It feels lonely, boring. The edge shows up when no one is watching, when no post is made, when no praise is given. It's the Tuesday morning run in the dark. It's the hill repeat that you didn't want to do, but you did it anyway. It's the moment you felt like quitting, but didn't. Not because someone was there to cheer you on, but because you decided that you were the kind of person who finishes. That right there is the edge. That's where it's built. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Most people never find it because they're looking in the wrong place. They're waiting for the motivation. They're waiting for the perfect training block. They're waiting to feel ready. But I hate to break it to you. You don't feel ready and then do the work. You do the work and then feel ready. The edge isn't something you find. It's something that you build slowly, quietly, in private decisions that no one else sees. And those decisions, they become your identity. Not the identity you post about, not the identity that you tell people about. Oh, I'm running a marathon. Oh, I'm running 100 miles. Oh, this is who I am. I'm about to do this. No. The one that shows up when it's hard and no one is watching, that's the identity. Running is a mirror. It reflects who you've been practicing to be. It doesn't lie. It doesn't let you perform your way through. It just shows you the straight up actual truth. And the truth is this: if you've been avoiding discomfort, it will show. If you've been negotiating and training, it will show. If you've been choosing comfort over growth, it will show. But if you've been doing the work, the quiet, unglamorous, repetitive work, well, that's going to show too. The champion voice isn't built in big moments. It's built in small ones. Over and over and over again, until it's not a voice you have to search for. It's just who you are. That's the edge. That's what we are chasing. Not the race, not the finish line, not the PR, the person we become in the process of getting there. All right. So let's bring this thing home. If you're out there running right now, feeling strong, feeling good, don't let comfort become the default. Don't let the ease of today make you soft for tomorrow. And if you're out there struggling, your legs feel heavy, it's cold, your lungs burn, you're questioning whether you're built for this, know that this is where it's built. Right here, in this moment, in this discomfort, in this doubt, in the decision to keep moving anyway. Physical fitness gets you to the start line. Mental readiness, that determines how far you go. And mental readiness, it's not about motivation. It's not about hype. It's not about waiting to feel strong. It's about practice. It's about repetition. It's about making the champion voice so familiar that it's the one you hear when it matters. Comfort compounds. So does resilience. The question is, which one are you building? Every run, it's a choice. Every mile, it's a decision. Every moment of discomfort is an opportunity to practice being the person you want to be when it's hard. You don't rise to the occasion. You default to your training. So train well, train honestly, train for the miles that you haven't met yet. Fear, it's not the enemy. Fear is just information. It's just your mind trying to protect you. Thank it. Acknowledge it. I appreciate you for telling me that my legs hurt and that I don't think I can do that. I appreciate you for really making me struggle this morning and get out of bed. I appreciate you for making me do these Bulgarian split squats, coach. Acknowledge it. Keep moving. If today's run feels ordinary, good. That's where this is built. The miles that change you aren't the loud ones. They're the quiet ones. The ones that no one sees. The ones where you just show up and do the work. So keep showing up. Keep training for those miles that you haven't reached yet. Respect the cost of comfort. Just keep moving forward. Now, I really appreciate you guys for running with me today, stretching, hanging out, just listening to this. I really enjoy being able to connect with the community. I really am grateful for all of you supporting this cause, this mission. I want you all to know that I'm supporting and cheering on for you guys to suffer well. this flock is growing. When you see somebody following Ostrich Running, you go follow them back and go see the journey that they're on, and you cheer them on. And make sure that we keep this community strong, capable of doing incredible things, no matter who you are. You are capable of all of this. And if you take anything from today, it's just enjoy the discomfort that you face on a daily basis, because I guarantee you that it's going to shape you into a champion that you didn't even know existed. And it goes beyond this running life. You will carry these moments into your personal life. The challenges and discomfort that life loves to throw at us every single day, it will be okay, because that discomfort is familiar to you. You accept it, find a way to overcome, and you keep moving forward. When those days are dark and you don't feel like you want to get out of bed because the depression, the anger, all of that is just hitting you hard, acknowledge it, thank it, get up and keep moving forward. You are building that person who is going to overcome the miles that you haven't even met yet.
Who you call bird brain?
Cue
Bitch.
that outro music.
Who says you need to fly to reach the top? Keep beating your block till your feet are hot. Get your head out the sand, join the flock. It's okay to run scared, we enjoy it a lot. I'm an odd kid, like an ostrich. I got a pod, kids, here's a topic. Blaze your own trail, don't be cautious. 2 birds, 1 stone's how I rock it. Can't make an omelet without breaking a shell. But the say grew up, now I'm raising hell. Haters gonna hate, yeah, they praying you fail. So put in the work, whether pavement or trail. The grades fell down, but they got to the feet. Run your own race, put this pod on repeat. Shake your tail feather, keep nodding your beaks. Ostrich gang, or you're not my peeps. Who says you need to fly to reach the top?